Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 106, Class 1A. We actually opened not with the chapter itself, but there's like a little one-page little thing announcing a popularity poll for the second anniversary. You also get a nice little color spread for the anniversary as well. But in the actual chapter itself, we actually start off on Todoroki, while Mr. Muppet Man there, don't know his name, so I'm just going to call him that, is now that they now have 53 passing examinees, and now the pace has really started to pick up, and they're claiming more than two victims each because they actually have 230 disqualified students. And team number 54 is actually Todoroki. And even though he's victorious, he knows that he still can't use his left and right simultaneously. He's got to train harder on that. It's slowing him down. He also gets notified through his little target badges that now that he's passed, he can go to a reception room. Apparently, they keep track of who passed and who failed via those targets. They sync up with hosts and balls and measure things like distance and motion in order to determine who's doing the hitting and who's getting hit. Once attached, it can't be removed without a special magnetic key. That's how high-tech these are. Oh, how high-tech are these things? That's what it says there. In the anti-room, Todoroki notes that plenty are already there. He actually ends up seeing Yorarashi just like talking it up, like with another guy, like, oh, I so freaking love that stamp man. He's a hot-blooded hero. But then he notes one look. Todoroki notes that given his special recommendation acceptance, he would have met that guy at the entrance ceremony. But then Yorarashi takes Inasa, I guess I should probably say Inasa, takes one good look at Todoroki and completely forgets what he was even talking about. And the guy he was talking to is no help because, like, no clue, dude. You started talking to me. At least Todoroki just a little confused because he also shoots this, like, beady-eyed glare right at Todoroki. Back at Deku's part of the fight, the transforming girl, currently known as Candace, real name pending, is apparently turning into slime, and noting that you'll save anyone then. No exceptions. Where do you draw the line? Meanwhile, Deku's main question is, where did your clothes go? You can't be naked here. Put something on. And she doesn't care. She just acts like she actually kind of scratches him. Like, just if you're gonna act, then do it. But any further fighting is stopped by the intervention of Sero and Uraraka. They manage to get in there, but they aren't able to like subdue her. But but they are at least able to stop her from attacking Deku. Uraraka knows how good her reflexes are, and she's just disappointed. Like, just when things are getting good. Too bad, really, for real. I wanted to talk a little more. It looks like that won't be possible now. Too bad. Ochika Uraraka, he really does trust you. Like, she's like, wait, what? And then she just dashes off, like, hold it. Sarah's screaming out at the perv to hold in. He's like, don't go after her. Like, wait, perv? Like, a little side text there. Deku notes that she managed to strip away her clothes, targets included, and that must be something to do with her quirk. So they run the risk of having her come after them again. And given the time situation, it'll be hard to score points off her because of that. So instead, he just checks on the other two, Uraraka and Sero. Sero saw the fighting and came running and ran into Uraraka en route. Now there's three of them. They should be able to. Deku suggests they should wait, and because their opponents are in groups of at least 10, so they'd overpower us with numbers. Only for an announcement to kick in that there's like 58 people who have passed now, which means that their time is running short on here. So instead, Deku comes up with a plan to deal with the group close by. Deku realizes that some of them were trying to get the jump on the others because this has turned into a Hunger Games situation. Now that the numbers have started to dwindle, they're starting to kind of... There's infighting going on because who's going to get which target, who's going to get the prey. So when they try to get a jump on the others, their numbers will drop. Not a good move. Uraraka notes. Deku notes that they had to stick together, but Sarah notes that they were supposed to originally try to stick together, so how are they going to do that now? Deku notes that the task revolves around hitting these targets with balls, which makes it seem like it's all about aiming and throwing. But since they're in the dark about their opponent's quirks and they're constantly on the move and guarding their own targets to boot, hitting them that way won't be quick or easy. So in other words, he thinks that they should find enough enemies for their whole class to pass, tie them up, and then just tap them with the balls. We've got a few people in Class A with wide range attacks that sure they can pull that off. And Zero kind of takes the hint. Like, it's not really about throwing the balls. You don't have to actually throw them. You just have to actually just hit them. How is not the point. Okay, Deku's gonna go out and be bait because Uraraka and Zero have the ones that can actually have the quirks that can actually disable people or apprehend people. So Zero's worried because with three of them it seems impossible, but Uraraka is just like, yes, roger that. Right. Well, it suggests that she seems worried. She does trust him. Like, Uraraka's saying himself that she trusts Deku, that he's proven himself enough times to earn that much. So now they go on the move. And then elsewhere, we have Kaminari, who apparently... Kaminari was the guy I was trying to remember last time, and I couldn't remember who was the missing member. But it's Kaminari, and he's apparently he ran after Kirishima and Bakugo because he didn't want to be alone. And Bakugo's like, just buzz off. Where? You saw Kirishima? Saw what happened to him. And one of the Shiketsu guys is holding what looks like a mound of flesh with Kirishima's hair and eyes sticking out in odd places. And this guy's pretty much Mr. Potato Man here is basically giving little, because that's what those things look like. He announced that the students of Shiketsu feel it's their duty to wear these caps during any and all public events. Why? Because our every action reflects back on the legacy of Shiketsu High School. This is a demonstration meant to show the sheer difference between us who cultivate that sense of duty and pride, especially in a public setting, and the rest of you, a mere mob of roughnecks who think you have what it takes to be heroes. While he's giving this grand old speech, Bakugo was thinking oh, I hate this type. And you know what? I have to kind of agree with Bakugo on this. Which is why I'm liking what's going to come next. Kaminari can't even follow the speech. It's Bakugo's hard to tell what he's really made of with those squinty eyes. My eyes are big and handsome! And he's got an inferiority complex. Better not piss him off anymore. Kaminari notes. This guy's he tells UA High that he respected them. I even felt that you might actually measure up to our school. However, your class has done nothing but erode that respect. Kaminari is just noticing that those gross things are coming out of him again. Duty, pride, blah blah blah, enough talk. Try showing us what you're made of, sir. Yeah, so Bakugo's just he's directing his assholishness at the right way this time. And this guy's you most of all, Bakugo. Meanwhile, we're back in the audience with Eraserhead and Ms. Joke. She offers him some gum, but he's no, is that the time to traps your finger? No thanks. And he's actually frustrated they can't see who's passed and failed. And Joke notes that, one, it's normal gum, and two, her Shindo made it even worse with that ground splitter. Wait, are you worried about them? And Eraserhead's when it comes to Class A, one thing becomes obvious after watching them long enough. They probably haven't realized it themselves yet, but the class revolves around a certain pair. It's not that they bring everyone together or serve as pillars or anything like that. In fact, those two do not get along. But at one point or another, they infected the rest of the class with their passion and fervor. It's odd, but at least one of them is sure to be at the heart of every storm. So no, Joke, I'm not worried. I'm expecting big things. The very presence of these two raises the bar for the entire class. Joke's only response is to blow a bubble if you love him so much, why don't you marry him? Gross. And then, on the other end, we get a nice little color two-page spread, not a color one, but a two-page spread of Deku and his team taking out some opponents, and Bakugo going after his guy. And that's where the chapter ends. And I don't know if we're going to see more of the fight between Bakugo and Beady Eyes there, but I am actually kind of looking forward to that because that's the kind of matchup I personally enjoy. This one guy who's big, haughty, arrogant, and you have Bakugo's just ready, willing, and more than able to just break him down. So that's going to be fun. Meanwhile, you have Deku with his team. Not quite sure what's going on. if they scored any points yet, but that's at the very least they've got everything set up and ready to go. They're moving along. Wonder if they'll actually will capture everybody, or capture enough for everybody to use. And then we have our other big mystery right now is what's the deal between Inasa and Todoroki? Because there's definitely something going on there. Like, and I wonder if that's why. I wonder now if that's why he didn't. Maybe that's why he didn't go to UA, because Todoroki did. I saw some people mention something like maybe like he was intimidated by Endeavor not to go there to make sure Todoroki was the best, but I don't know. I mean, it's not out of character for him, but it just seems like an odd choice. Whatever's going on, Todoroki has no idea. Then we have our slime girl, or who I've been calling Candace because she reminds me of in Bleach. Don't know yet what her actual power is. Like, it seems like she can turn everything into slime, or maybe create slime to coat herself and change her appearance, that sort of thing. Or maybe she is slime and that's what she does. I don't know. At the moment, though, like I said, she's out of the picture for the moment. I don't know if we'll see her before the end of this test is done, but for the moment at least, we're all set to go. She's out of the picture. I'm hoping next week we might see like the rest of the group, see what they're doing. Either see Deku meet up with them, maybe help them get their targets, or maybe see if they're actually doing stuff on their own. That could be a fun thing to see. This is a pretty good action chapter. Like, not much to really like analyze or get theory-wise on here, beyond wondering what the quirks are of Beady Eyes and Slime Girl. Because one thing I did not mention is that that Beady Eyes did his weird little flesh mound potato thing to a whole bunch of people. Like, there's like at least a dozen and a half that I can just see at a glance here. Now, I just had a funny thought as well. Like, Bakugo, he seems to be sensitive about his big eyes, and his domino mask that he's wearing is like really big eyes. I wonder if there's actually a thing to that. But I think for now, I think we're good to go on this one. Like I said, there's not a giant deal to get into here. It's mostly an action chapter. We've got a few hints towards things here, but not enough to work with just yet. Nothing more that we can just like randomly guess at. So next week we'll probably see about that. Next week I won't be recording with the Viz version like I normally do, or even with the with annotations on it, because I won't have a chance to. I'm actually going to be out of town next weekend, but I will have a video recorded and set to come up normal time, so that part won't be a problem. And like I said, this week we've also got a comic. We've also got our monthly series out. We've got a comic, Kill 74, Attack on Titan 85, and Inside Mari 80, the final chapter. And these Attack on Titan and Mari are also the final reviews with typical manga fan for the foreseeable future. So if you want to check those out, go ahead. Like I said, they're right. Hit the playlist. They shouldn't be hard to find there. But for now, this is Zeidoktor signing off for Chapter 106 of My Hero Academia, Class 1A. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time.